specific, I will.
Yeah.
But you generally know in the directions I'm giving who I mean, I think. If you haven't got things ready, you need maybe weights. So for instance, today, and I'm treating myself more gently, I've got a couple of the smaller 1 kilogram ones for my hands, and I've got a 2 kilogram one for when we're going to hold it just here, because I like something a bit heavier. So though, go with what works for you and what you're happy lifting. Hi, Vicky. So weights, and it doesn't have to be a weight, it can just be something that's in your room and it's heavy and you are happy to hold it. That's the key thing. Doesn't matter what it looks like, you've got to be able to hold it in your hands and do things like this or hold it close to your body. So I mean, apart from it being a dog or a cat and they might wriggle, you know, probably something that's an inanimate object. But I'm open to it. And stretchy band, because some things are going to be stretchy band specific, quite long, because we might do legs if we have time. So it might be that sort of stretchy band, the long ones. It might be this sort of stretchy band. For some things, you can choose whether you use weights or a band, and I'll tell you. And of course, you can skip things. Eleanor, just spotlight you a moment. Couple of handy weights there. Perfect.
Might shake them up a little bit, of course.
Well, they can calm down afterwards. It's a good example though of things that you are used to lifting. Think what your purse is like, or your phone. Struggle lifting your purse or your bag, maybe that's too heavy. Do you regularly lift your dog or cat and you're used to lifting them and it feels okay? Well, maybe you can cope with weights. I wouldn't say go and get another dog or cat to match. That's a bit difficult, but maybe you can cope with a heavier weight when we hold one thing and we're doing a sort of hip hinge or a squat. So just things to think about. And raid the food cupboard is another, like bags of rice and that sort of thing. Anybody got things to tell me about or ask me about before we start?
Only to say I've literally just got in from osteopath and Christmas shopping, so if I'm yawning a lot, don't worry.
Christmas shopping already? Come on.
I like to get it out of the way early.
I'm thinking of skipping the whole shopping thing this year. I'm not doing any, but I've got to get everyone else to agree to that. But that's another story. Penny, please go gently because you've just seen an osteopath.
Yeah.
Have you had any manual therapy?
Yes.
Yeah, so I want you to go super soft. I don't want to see you maxing out in any way because everything has just been done. It needs a bit of time to settle. So more watching and less doing. Watch all the way through if you like.
Mm-hmm.
Vicky, I want you to take it easier than you think.
Yeah.
So pull right back, bow out if you need to, and anything where we're bending, if you don't feel like it, don't do it. Anything else anyone needs to mention? Right. Get started with the warm-up. So we're going to do a mix of things today when we use a timer. I'm just walking on the spot at the moment. So in your chair, standing, sitting, we're going to walk on the spot and I'm going to give you different things. Now you can stay with this walking because it's warming up your body. These are some extra things that you can do. So I've got to get it right now. I'll show you from the side, little leg back and my arms. I'm imagining speed skating. I am never going to do speed skating because I'm terrified of going on ice. But if I was speed skating, here I go. So this option, and it's nice to lean a little forwards with this. And you can take your legs a bit wider if you like. And you can feel as you do it, because it's quite a big arm movement. It's pumping the blood around. Now you can go slower than me and you can go faster. And if you have the energy, you could even do a little leap from foot to foot. I don't have that energy today. I'm not going to do that. But if you want to, you can. But what I can do is a little double side step. Oh, my arms don't know what to do on that one.
Going to swing.
Now it becomes more like a little, what's that? Not a cha-cha, can't remember. But a little bit of that is nice. So you're more upright and giving it a little double side step, little press. Lovely. Obviously, if you're on a chair, you probably can't get a double in unless you make them small steps because you'll fall off the chair. So I'm hoping, oh, I saw that, Eleanor, I saw those arms do a little loop the loop. Yeah, go for a little loop the loop if you want. Getting a bit breathier, a bit warmer. First thing we need for the warm up is to literally warm up, especially as it's getting a bit colder. Oh, so let's bring it down a little and take your time. And we're coming into a stillness. So just give your body a moment. Let it settle. First thing we're going to do is pelvic tilts. So you can soften your knees a bit if you're standing, because if they're super straight or you're pushing back, it makes it really hard. I'm going to go for a hand on the belly and a hand on the back. I don't mind if it's going that way down or that way down, but just to feel where they're going. So let's take a breath in and we'll do it into our ribs so it's going out to the side. And as you breathe out, you're pulling your belly back. It's almost like you're pushing your top down. If you do that action of stroking down, it might help you with the pelvic tilt. And then do the action the other way of sort of smoothing your hands up and down. I was just trying this before, and I think it's just quite a nice way into a pelvic tilt. But you don't have to go too big. So your head and shoulders, can you keep them still whilst your hands move and give your pelvic area just a little bit of assistance? Now can you make it smaller? Just so we get right into the lumbar. Oh, my hand's just doing something funky. That's it. Lovely. And then give your arms a little shake. Can we have, what have I got next? Oh yeah, little neck turn and shoulders, right? So the usual, tap the back of your head. Take your head back a little and just start to glide your head around. We're not doing too much with the head today and neck, but it's nice to give it a little bit of an oil and bring it back to the center. Now there is going to be more going on with the shoulders today because we're going to be lifting things. So just give them a little forwards and backwards. And then we're going to take them through some of the motions. So make an L shape, bring your arms inwards. Brilliant. And nudge back a little. And as you do that, it's like you're squeezing here and you're imagining a little orange and you're just squeezing the juice, a little downward sort of sensation, as well as your elbows going back. That's it. Now, can you feel it at the back, at the shoulder blades? And as you do it, you might feel this bit just sort of open up, or that sort of feeling of opening. Lovely. And we're looking for the hands staying the same distance, like they've got an imaginary parcel they don't want to drop. Beautiful. Right, loosen it off. So later we're going to do a bit of that sort of thing potentially. So I want to make sure everything's warmed up there. Bicep curls, nice and loose. Don't squeeze really hard because there's more later. But just that feeling of where you go in a bicep curl. That's it. Lovely. Perfect. And a little bit of the same shape when we do that nudge back, but this time open your arms back. Just a little, don't go crazy. And you can see I'm leaning slightly forwards. It's just easy. You can have soft knees. If you're on a chair, you might want to do one arm at a time, just because you're leaning forwards in the air. But if you're happy doing both, and the back is straight. That's it, lovely. And then let that go. Right now we're going into the feet. So feet, we're going to do a little sort of heel toe tap. So could you heel forwards, like you're going to dig something, and then toe back. And you can hold something whilst you're doing this. Please do. It is a bit of a balance challenge. So find something that you can look ahead at that's not moving, not me. Something on the top of whatever you're looking at, you know, your screen. Might be a bit of blank wall. That's it. And then swap to the other foot, same thing. Now, if you're doing this on a chair, you've got room for the forwards. The back is like a little bit under the chair, but it gets a bit, there isn't much space. So you might find you can't get very far. That's it. Arms anywhere that support you. And then take that down. Now I'm going to give you a mix of things here. You can either rock forwards and backwards on your feet, just starting to try and lift your toes up a little. So that's one thing you can do. You can go up and down, heel drops, no drop yet. You can make it droppy, so you go and you can feel the impact, or you can stamp your feet. So do whichever is your favorite. And if you love jumping and hopping from foot to foot, I know there's one of you that does, go for a bit of that or a bit of that. It's just some sort of impact going through your legs and into your hip. Susie, your rabbits would be very proud. Perfect. And then maybe grab a drink, have a little sip of water if you've got one with you. We're going to go into a balance first. If you know you are wobbly on your feet, have something to the side, because we can change how much you hold it, so we can change the sort of challenge of it. If you're seated, it's not going to be much of a balance sitting, but you can still do it. It'll be a bit of a balance doing it, and you might do a standing one another time. We're going to have our legs, one forwards, one back, and a gap in between. I'm going to put a timer on. Now you can either stay just with this little rock forwards and backwards and your feet moving, or you can take it sort of further, make it more challenging by just bringing your legs in a little closer and your feet closer together. And the closest you go is heel toe, like you're on a tightrope. You can also start letting go a bit of whatever you're holding on to. That might be one finger. So I'm going to put the 40-second timer on. Remember all the different things you're doing, it's on. And could you look ahead? See if you can find something to look at as well. Oh my goodness, it does make it a bit easier. And it's like you're coming closer towards it and further away. So closer towards it as you go forwards and then further away from it. That's it. Beautiful. Now your feet might be coming closer, closer widthways and closer front to back. You might even feel, oh, the back of your heel against your toe. Oh, we're nearly done. Oh, just in time. Right, now just have a little shake off because we've got the other side. Nice bit of balance work though. So you might want to change where your hand is. You might be turning your back on me. It doesn't matter. Just find a place for you. Find somewhere to look. Get your feet in that split position. Here we go, 40 seconds. Keep yourself as upright as you can. That's it. You might start narrowing the gap between your legs. You might start bringing your feet a little closer, like you're on a tightrope and you're going to heel toe. And I take it slower at that point if you're doing that because it gets a bit more wobbly. Very nice. Oh, and your arms can definitely help you. And we are nearly done. 2, 1. There it goes. So have a little ease off. Well done. That was, I think it's the longest we've done a balance as well. Very nice. I'm just going to make the view even bigger. Right, next. Oh, we're going to do a little bit of opening up the chest and a sort of proud stance. So you can take this against a wall if you want to have that feeling of leaning back on something and really opening up. Your feet will be a little bit in front of you, just so you can lean back, particularly your shoulders and the back of the head on the wall. If you're sitting, take your legs as wide as you like. If you're standing, legs wider. Open your arms out. Feel proud. Feel your chest go forwards. And then let it go. Oh, I wasn't trying to time that one. I've obviously just set things off. And we'll go again. Open it up. And let it go. You just turn that off. That's right. And then we'll go again. Open it up. It's like, come on, bring it on. Bring on the Christmas shopping. Whoa. And then let it go. Well done. Right, that was a little opener for the chest, and it sort of gets your back working just there. Now we're going for some weights. So this move is going to be a hingy sort of move, a hip hinge back. Your weights are going to be in front of you. Now you could have them higher. That will make it much more manageable because you won't have to bend down so much. So if you've got a table in front of you and you want to do that, put them on a table, or even something like this, a surface here, and you're just reaching them off here, and you might do a little hip hinge and then put them back. It's all fine. I'm going to go down to the floor. Options as well is you can just touch them and come up. So you could be doing that. You could touch them, hold them. We're not going to lift them any higher. Put them down. So those are your options. I'm going to get the timer going. Okay. And if it feels too much, just hip hinge and get your hip hinge going and skip the weights. That's it. We're trying to keep our back straight. So you're sort of looking a little bit ahead. You don't try and look at your feet. And as you stand up, push into your heels, and that's whether you're sitting or whether you're standing. Really push into your heels, into your feet, into your legs, and we're done. Right, we'll have a little break for a moment now. So you might have a little wander, a little sit, a little drink. And for the next one, we're taking a similar sort of shape. So we're doing a hip hingey squat sort of move, and we're going to hold a weight on our chest. So you might hold it, if you've got a dumbbell sort of weight, you might hold it like this. You might hold it like this. I can see Sue is there, like this. Perfect. I like holding this one. I just find it easier to hold. I'm sorry, I'm obviously doing something strange with the timer today. I'm loving the bottle of wine there as well. So this move is going to be like a little turn. So you're going to do a little squat with your legs a bit wide, and then you can take it so your foot goes round. I'm not going to set the timer off on this, but I want you to work your way round in a little circle or a little side sort of arc if you're seated. That's it. And then when you've got as far as you can go, I want you to go the other way. So that's backwards. And I'm hoping that you've all checked your area that you're doing these in, and you've removed all the hazards. And you all look fantastic doing this, especially backwards. And the backwards ones are definitely the more challenging. And then come upright. Place your weight down, so you might hinge again for that. And just give yourself a little shake off. Well done. Right, we're going to go back to the weights and holding them in our hands now. Now you could use a band. So you could put a band under your feet, seated or standing. You'll be in a hip hinge position. You'll pull it up, and then we're going to do a bicep curl. So you might do that with the band like that, or you could do it with your weights. So hip hinge and grab your weights, bring your elbows in. This is going to be the move. Tend to use an exhale for bringing them in and an inhale for release, but it doesn't matter. It works both ways. 40 seconds is off. Take your time. That's it. And you can do it without the weights. You can do it without even squeezing, and just let the arms be relaxed as you're doing it. Lovely. You can even take it really slowly, especially on the release. It does make it harder. A lot harder today. We're nearly done. Well done, really nicely done. Now just let your arms have a little wriggle. That's it. Take your legs wider. Make it nice and soft. Just a bit of rotation. That's it. The wider legs, letting the hips move with you, all great if you've got osteopenia or osteoporosis, because it gives you a sense of turn without forcing your spine round. That's it. If you want your arms to fall onto yourself, you can do that. You might look behind you a little bit, but no forcing, no wringing out. Lovely. And then slowly bring it back to the center. So, and bring your legs in a bit, but they're still wider and your feet are still turned out a little bit. Place your arms somewhere at the front in a sort of Cossack-y position. You could have prayer hands as well. I was going to try the Cossack with a little bit of a gap, but it could be here. I want you to look at whatever is in the center. So if I look at the center here, I'm going to look at my wrist thing band. And I want you to have a spot there at the center that you look at, because I don't want your head to turn any more than your body. And we're going to rotate from the waist just a little. Just keep your eyes on that center bit of your arm. So your eyes will be just looking downwards. And once you've got it, you'll be able to look ahead. That's it. You don't need your shoulders pushing forwards. Keep as upright as you can. So you might give them a little roll and just check that they're relaxed. But we're getting a little turn from the waist. Enough that if you're in the car, you might be putting your seatbelt on. You're just reaching for it. Or you're turning to get out of a passenger seat or a driver's seat. Beautiful. So it's controlled, small turn. Very nice. And a couple more. And then let go. Shake it all off. Right, now we're going to do a mixture of a balance with a stamp. So I'll show you how it looks. You can be holding on to something. So I could be holding on to this. I'm going to work one leg maybe about 6 times. I'm going to lift it up as far as I can. So it might be here, doesn't matter. And just hold it, and then I'm going to stamp it down. So if I was doing this seated, it might hover, or I might do it on the front of my foot, and then I'll stamp it down. And we do 6 of these. Take your time. Stand up as straight as you can, sit as straight as you can. Lift your leg up, wherever it goes, and give it a little stamp. That's it. Everyone's going to wonder what you're doing. Any neighbours, anyone in your house think, what are you doing? Now that was 6 for me. Maybe you're on 6 as well. Switch to the other side. You might have your arms out, by the way, if that helps with the balance. It's all good. It's whatever you need to do. But can you look ahead as you do it? Is this side harder? Might be a little bit. And then let it go. Very nice, everybody. Really nice. Right, let me turn this over. Oh, right. We are going to do a bit of lying down today, but we're not there quite yet. So we're going to do some sort of push-up. Now, what you're comfortable with is going to really vary. It might be you go to the wall and you're going to lean against the wall. I'm going to go here. And I'm just going to give you a bit of an examples of how I want your back to be. So this sort of shape, when you see my bum, is just a little bit higher and I'm making a flat back here, sort of sloping down. That's fine. This, the danger of this is it sort of becomes this as the push-ups get harder. And I don't want that to happen. So I'd rather your bum went back a bit than you get into that sort of shape. If you're seated, you could do this to a table. You can take yourself to a table. I realise that now might not be the best time. And you could do it against a table like that. So that is just another way to do it. But I know getting a table in front of you when you need a screen there is, you know, is probably going to be something you do when you're doing the recording. I'm going to set the timer. That may be a bad idea. I want you to stop when you've had enough. Think of the elbows going out to the side and the hands in whatever position is comfortable for you. I often move mine as I'm doing this. Penny, that's if you just get the arms just working like that, because pulling back will be nice as well. So let me get the start on. And take your time. It might be you do 2 or 3 and you think that is plenty. That's it. So I'm just having a little look at you. So Suzanne Warren, no, just pull your belly and your back. Just a yes, you knew. Oh, that is absolutely beautiful. That's it. I can't see everybody, but I think we're all going okay. Now, I'm going to have a little look at the timer. Oh, 3 seconds. We're good. And then bring yourself to upright. You might want a little drink. You might want to shake it off. Now, if you do those at home another time, when you might be repeating this recording, you can do the sort where instead of your arms being out like that and pushing like that, you can do it when they dip in and it's like this. I find that a lot harder. It's much more on the wrists. And I find women in general find that very hard because we feel it in our wrists more. But you might want to try a few of those, not as long. But I wouldn't do both together. It's a lot, yeah? And we've just done them, so they're done for today. Right, now, one more balance thing, and then we're going down to the floor. This balance thing is all about distraction. Hold on to something. You're going to stand on one foot, and then we're going to have 40 seconds. And during that 40 seconds, you can say these things out loud or in your head. You're going to use an alphabet. And what did I write down as fruit and veg alphabet? So A is for apple, B is for beans, C is cabbage. It soon goes wrong. When I got to D, I can't think of anything apart from dandelions. So you can say them out and we can have all the chat going on as we're doing it, or you can try and do it in your head. It's just to get you distracted whilst you're balancing. So put slightly up. That's all you need to be doing. Looking ahead. I'm working out this alphabet of fruit and vegetables. Let me just do a little reset. Right, we're off. So you're on A, whatever you thought of for A.
Cabbage.
B. I'm messing up. B, cherries maybe. D, anybody got any D's apart from dandelions? Not really fruit.
Date.
What was that?
Damson or date.
Oh, damson. Oh, I love damson. Love damson jam. Lovely. E could go American, go eggplant. F,
Fruit in general.
yes, excellent.
Big.
G, green gages maybe.
Engage. Great.
Oh, I don't have to think any further. Now you can feel it's good for distracting you. It's hard. I can feel my balance going just with that. We're going to go on the other foot. This time, ice cream flavours. Maybe start somewhere else in the alphabet. We've just done A to about G. Maybe we should start. Let's start at J, because I think you'd be able to find something for J. K may be a bit problematic. Let's go. So J, maybe like a jam flavour or jelly or something. K.
Kiwi.
Oh, very nice. Yes, lovely. L for ice cream.
Lemon.
M.
Mango.
Oh, very nice. Yeah, right. I was thinking meringue. N could say Knickerbocker Glory and sort of
Nectarine.
O.
Orange.
Lovely. P. Pineapple.
Peach.
Yeah.
Pistachio.
Yeah.
Q.
Quince.
Quince. Oh, very good. Right.
Yeah.
That went faster. Very, very nice. Just gather yourselves for a moment now because we're going to go down on the floor. So take your time. lying down on something. If you don't want to lie down, you could watch, and I can give you seated alternatives, but there's going to be things for your bum that are hard to do in other positions. But we can do squeezes and things seated if you'd rather stay seated. So don't be afraid to do that.
I'm going to leave it there, Kerry.
Brilliant, Vicky. Well done.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye-bye. Have a good evening. Take yourself to lying down, and could you have your long band like a scarf behind your back? If you're seated, have it behind you on the chair. Get yourselves comfy. You can have your head on something that supports it like a pillow. You won't need your band straight away. We'll just do some pelvic tilts and just warm up that area first. I'm just getting all my timers all ready. Lovely. I can see you all nicely there. So, okay, I think we've got everybody lying down. So just have any little wriggles that you need. Check that the band is behind you so that it's going to come round about under your armpits, that sort of area, when we use it, which is not yet. If you want a little bit extra to do now, just check your eyes are at the ceiling. And we're just going to press very lightly with the back of our head into the cushion or your mat. Just a little. So you want to feel that your neck is super long, your inner giraffe is here. And you're pressing very lightly. It's a little eccentric sort of hold, isometric hold, and it's a little bit of strengthening for your neck, which, you know, I know for many of us is a bit of a weak area, but you only need to go gentle. And when you've done maybe 3 or 4 of those, let the head roll from side to side, nice and soft, not forcing it, just letting it be really heavy on the pillow or the mat. And then still, eyes just looking at the ceiling. Hands can be on your low belly if you like, it helps with pelvic tilt. And just start some pelvic tilts using the muscles in your belly. So we use an exhale and those muscles scrunch inwards. It's like you're trying to pull them away from a wet top. And that just starts to initiate the movement. Lovely. And a couple more of those. There's an excited dog downstairs. You may have just had a little sound of her coming through. And then let your pelvis be heavy and just rest there. Your legs are going to stay where they are. Now we're going to gather that band. Your back's on it, and we don't really want it to slide around. You've got to work out what's going to be best for your hands. We're going to push away, but start one hand at a time. And I tend to have it coming up through my thumb and finger, the band ends, but you might wrap it round your fists and your knuckles, whatever works for you. You just don't want your wrist to go at an angle. And just start one fist or hand and then the other, and just start pushing away and just get used to it. And you can stay one and then the other. And then try both and feel how much more effort it is. So that's the move. I'm going to get the timer on. Here we go. Oh, press play, Kerry, that will do. Right, it's going. That's it. And you don't have to go the full 40 seconds. You could loosen it off and make it easier on yourself. You might want to make it tighter on yourself. I can't say that's me today. You might just want to go one side and then the other and not do 2 anymore. That's it. And the rest of your body staying still, and it's sort of resisting any movement. Now let the band go. And let your arms just flop by your side. You might want to turn them palm up, palm down just for a moment, just to give your arms just a little bit of rotation in the shoulder. Now we're going to bring that band out from underneath ourselves and put it across the hip crease area and hold it fairly tight downwards. Now you have to work what works best for your hands. I sort of have my fingers pushing it into my palm. It might be that you can hold it down with your hands without using your fingers, and that's going to give you enough resistance. Slide anything away under your head. Should have said that before, sorry. Now have the band tight across your hip crease and just start a really gentle pelvic tilt. It's not going to be very big. That's it. So that's using a sort of articulated movement. We're moving the low back. Now let it rest. Keep the band tight. Now, could you start to push into your feet alternately? We're not lifting anything yet. We're just pushing down into the feet and then pushing to both feet. Right, now we're getting ready to lift. Take a breath in. And as you breathe out, press into your feet and lift your hips straight up against that band and then let them go down. I'm going to get that timer on. Please stop early if it feels too much and just go into pelvic tilts. Now, as you're doing this, check that your head isn't moving. You don't want your eyes going back or your chin going back. You're just looking at whatever is on your ceiling, probably nothing. And keep the feet really pressed down. Now we're getting into glutes and hamstrings here, glutes particularly. So let them do what they want to do. They feel they want to squeeze a little bit, they can do that. You can change your foot position if that helps. Maybe your feet come a bit closer to your bum. And now let go. Let your legs sway. Let your arms go out in a T shape and your legs a bit wider. We're winding right down because we are really close to the end. As usual, we run over just a minute or so. That's it. Now leave your legs quite wide and just resting, feet down. And bring your arms across yourself. So you're giving yourself a very soft hug. You're not wrapped super tight. And I just want you to have a little wriggle from one side to the other. It's like you're peeling up one shoulder from one side and one shoulder from the other and just rocking yourself. You can push into your feet a little bit to help, or your feet might have a little sway and your knees might have a little sway from side to side. Nice. I'm finding as I'm doing this, I'm getting higher up the mat. I don't know if that's just me or anyone else is finding that. Try not to crash your head into anything. And then bring your arms down, legs together. We're going to roll onto our side so we can push ourselves up. So you know what works best for you. Please take your time. Get your arms in a position where you can push into something, a forearm, a fist, whatever works. Oh, and watch out for any bands that are tangled around yourself. Your legs, any position that works for you. So it can be long, they can be bent, you can be cross-legged. Some really gentle elbow circles. Let your waist turn a little bit. Let your body sort of go with it. Your shoulders, your head. That's it. So we're doing quite a lot with arms today. And then bring it back to the center and place your hands on your breastbone and chest here. And just push up a little bit and let it go down. Pushing up, let it go down. And pushing up and let it go down. Final bit, arms out, palms out, scoop up the air, bring your hands together into your chest,